Okay, what's up guys? So this is part 2. I mean, if you haven't watched part 1, obviously make sure you do, because this is a follow-up to that. It's okay, going right at it. Now, going back to that point where I said about rolling past him when blind firing him, what you really want to have in this really good position is where you can kind of, you're both facing each other, right? And you're blind firing. If you can get behind his back while still this is going on, right? If you can get behind his back, I mean, you're pretty much won the blind fire at that point. Because I mean, if you're, let's just say I'm him, right? If you get behind him, even though he's turning the camera, you're still running like right behind him. So for him, it's like chasing his own tail. So he can't really do that. He will never catch it. And you're also like following him from behind, shoot him as he's trying to catch his own tail. I mean, it's hard to explain, but I kind of did some of this in my gameplays. I mean, make sure always when you watch these guys, make sure you watch the gameplays as well. Because I mean, I post them so you can also see what I actually teach you in practice. Because just hearing it is one thing, but actually seeing it and then doing it is a whole other thing. Okay, so Jake, come to, let's just stay in cover right here, like this. So just like I said about he can blind fire you like this and you're at disadvantage. One way to counter this, let's just say you're both like blind firing here, right? And he does what I said about transitioning to put himself in a position of advantage. If you notice he's doing that, and at least if he's this kind of cover, what you can do at that point is to jump over him. So let's just say he transitioned and he, like, we're blind firing right here, and he transitioned it and tried to put himself in advantage. If I see him doing that while we're at this gunfight, I can jump behind him and I'll do the same thing that he tried to do to me, now I did to him. So like I explained about rolling past him on the blind fire, you just did the same thing, because his camera is now facing forward to try to shoot you. And when you jump, I mean on top of him, now he has to turn all the way, maybe blind fire, maybe get out of cover to shoot you. I mean, he's wasting time and you're at advantage at that point. So he might get maybe one shot at you before you can do this, but when you get here, you're already in advantage to kill him before he can turn around and shoot you. So just remember, like, again, you can always blind fire in the air. So doing all of this, you can be blind firing him like so. You see, I mean, that was like less than 2 seconds he was dead, just because I was blind fire while doing all of this. So just keep that in mind. If he's behind some sort of cover like this, you can always jump over him. Like so. I mean, of course you can like jump literally on top of him, but you need to go to like kind of near him, like so. Now just keep blind firing, Jake, forward, just so I can show you. See, I can see his arm and a bit of his head when he shoots. That's what I meant when I said back on the part 1. Okay, so Jake, now I want you to try to rush me. Let's just say I'm behind cover right here and you try to rush me. So what you can use here is do this. So I'm behind cover right here, right? He knows I'm here. He's gonna try to shoot me like this, or he's gonna try to turn around and try to blind fire me. So you can use his momentum against him by rolling like here to the side. Because at that point he has to turn around the camera to adjust, whereas you already see him. So if you're like behind cover and he's trying to rush you, just remember that you can always not only dodge him, but use his momentum against him at the same time. I mean, we pretty much work the same here, I guess. You can, let's just see, try to rush me, Jake. I mean, you know, he's trying to, you can even do this, you can even change to this side and do this, or you can just go to this side and then do that. Now another good point, you see from everything I'm doing, I'm kind of aiming at the air. You're gonna need the booster weapon expert to do this. That's why I said it's really competitive. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff where you have this. You can even jump on top of him while aiming and all that. So another, like a huge trick, I mean, this is one of my biggest secrets, let's just put it like that. You can also use a grenade while you're in the air because you have weapon expert. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to kill you there. But I mean, this is huge because, okay, now that brings me to, let's just make a quick point before that. So I mean, while he's shooting you, I mean, like 1v1 like this, where you're actually looking at him. Say we're shooting him. Just like, yeah, go ahead and kill him, Jake. Okay, so let's just say like 1v1 like this. Like I said, you can always blind fire in the air. And like with weapon expert, you can also jump, because while you're jumping and doing all of this, you're dodging his bullets while still shooting him. So this is why it makes the weapon expert such a competitive booster, and you see all the good players using it. So always remember this: doing a face-to-face gunfight like this, you don't want to be, never want to be standing like I'm doing right now and shooting him. Let's just say he's moving, you never want to do like this, just following him with the camera and standing still. You either want to be moving left and right like he's doing right now while you're shooting, because that makes you a harder target, or you want to be jumping like this. Now the trick here is you want to roll to one side and then jump to the opposite. So run to one side, jump to the opposite, run to the opposite. You know, like roll, jump, roll, jump. You can never do both. You cannot roll and then roll again, because you have to wait that time. But you can roll and jump, and while you're in the air jumping, that time you need to wait before you roll again is already counting down. That's why this works, because, you know, like right here I'm pressing to roll, but I gotta wait a bit. Now you can make that little bit of time, turn that into a jump. So while that period is counting down, you're in the air still dodging his bullets. And again, if you have the weapon expert, you can also shoot while doing all this, like so. I mean, this is huge. Nobody's gonna hit you while you're doing this. You can also blind fire while in the air. I mean, all this works the same during a blind fire. Let's say you go here, you can kind of dodge him and all that. Now the trick with the grenade is like pretty much the same thing, but it helps a lot because you can do the grenade when you have no health. I mean, if you have like 10% health and you're doing this, I mean, sure, it's gonna help, but you're really hardly going to kill him, because he only needs one bullet at you. But if you have the grenade, you can at least maybe kill him along with you. So you kind of jump and throw the grenade while you're in the air. I mean, it's all the same controls, you're just doing that while in the air. So I mean, you're gonna have to practice a bit if you never use a weapon expert. I mean, you can also use mysticals, by the way, by holding the L1 and R1. You also do the same but in the air while aiming. It's really hard, but I mean, you're gonna have a lot of practice to do this with the mysticals. The grenades is a lot easier. The mysticals is harder because it's an extra button you have to worry about. But just keep in mind that it works. You can aim the mysticals like this while in the air, and then throw them. Now, so I mean, so you like dodging him, right? Let's just say you're 10%. You know you can't stop to shoot him because you will die because you have no health. So while you're jumping, you throw a grenade and continue to dodge. I mean, most of the times nobody's gonna really escape that, because I mean it's really unexpected. You can't really see the grenade coming because the guy's in the air. And you, like, even on blind fire, if you're like, let's just say he's behind you, you can jump backwards and throw to the ground. I mean, you see me, I do this a lot in my gameplays. Even on, let's just say Jake, stay on cover right here. So he's on cover. I mean, if I just do this, it takes a long time. He's probably gonna kill me. So I can just jump back and throw the grenade while in the air here. And the grenade is gonna hit him while I just dodge him, you know, and let the grenade do its job instead of having to turn on around and shoot him. So I mean, this is huge. If you can learn this, this is huge, to throw the grenade in the air. Like this. Okay guys, so continue that point. This works with any gear. You can always throw a gear in the air with Weapon Expert. So same thing goes for med packs and for like mysticals, everything. C4, mines, everything you can throw in the air with Weapon Expert. Okay, so this next point is really important. I don't see many people doing it. So let me go even further. So let's just say he's right there, right? Now if I just hold the fire button, you see I'm not really hitting anything because of the recoil. It's really bad. Now what you want to do pretty much with any weapon, unless it's a burst, you want to kind of tap shoot, like almost like it's a semi-automatic weapon. So like again, I can just hold the trigger and I'm not really gonna hit anything because of the recoil. I can still try to adjust, but it's still not as effective as the tapping. Like this. You see? I mean, it hits him pretty much as fast as I'm hitting him by holding a lot. But you know, you're a lot more accurate by, like, you see, like the aim is going up. I can just do this. Just by doing a little bit slower, I can hit the same target all the time. So you're kind of exchanging the fire rate for accuracy, which is what you want at long range. You don't need fire rate at long range, you need accuracy. So keep that in mind. Even with a weapon like the P90, you can still do this. I mean, every weapon has its own timing, because some weapons have more recoil than others. But just practice, you know, try to see the fastest you can shoot while still hitting the target you want, the same target. So for this weapon, this is pretty much the speed, where I can still hit the same target. If I go any faster than that, you see it going out, that's too fast. So I need to kind of control the legs like this. Now another thing, you can always also use the recoil to your advantage. So this weapon, I know the recoil goes up like this. So if I see that I start shooting him at the chest, I can just let it go, and the recoil is going to drag me to the head, like so. You saw that? Like it went up straight to the head. So just remember that. Just try to learn the recoil of your weapon. I mean, again, every weapon is different. This weapon is easy because the recoil is only going up. But for example, like the HS, the recoil maybe goes to the sides. So you can kind of, you know, if you're actually holding the trigger, just kind of know the patterns of the weapon you're using, the recoil patterns. So you can actually use the recoil to your advantage. Okay guys, so another good point I can show you. I mean, it's not really going to work because I only have one bullet here, but this works with the RPG. I mean, because you have to reload, especially on co-op, because you have to reload after you shoot. So you can cancel the reload by changing weapons. I mean, this works for any weapon really. You can cancel the entire animation by switching weapons. So as soon as you see like the the clip going into the weapon on the left, the bottom left side there. I mean, as soon as you see the, I can't really demonstrate. I mean, just kill me once, Jake, so I can get ammo back. I'm gonna try to demonstrate with the normal weapon. So, like this, right? As soon as you see the clip go back, you can cancel it like this and do it again. You see, some weapons they reload, you know, really fast, so you don't really gotta do this. But for weapons that do reload fast, this is really useful. For example, the RPG reloads really slow, so you can do that. As soon as you see the clip, like you see that it's kind of gray there. As soon as you see that go white, which means that the bullet is in the weapon, you can switch back really quick. And that's gonna cancel the animation, like that. This works for snipers too. I mean, everything. So it's really good tip. Okay, I have nades. So, I mean, next point is the same thing goes for blind fire. I mean, if you're getting rushed down and you don't really want to get into a blind fire fight and you have a nade, you can always throw that to the ground. Like, instead of just shooting a throw to the ground and then run away. And again, goes back to the point of using the environment. For example, where he is right now, instead of doing this, I can also aim at the wall behind him. So let's just say we're blind firing. Right here. I jump, I throw a nade, and then I go back. You see, like that? So I mean, in that case, I mean, always remember to use your environment. In that case, I can use the wall. I don't really have to aim to the ground. But just so you know, you can also use a nade on a blind fire if you don't really want to engage that way. You can throw a nade to the ground and run away from the explosion. So next point, I mean, Jake, try to shoot me as well. Just make like a real gunfight now. Just like I said about you don't want to engage while you're marked, and you also don't want to engage while your weapon is not fully reloaded. If you're like on a long range gunfire like this, and shoot me, Jake, and you see he starts to shoot you really well first, before you can get, like, you see that you got hit 2 times before you even got a bullet on him, you better run away, like I just did right there. You want to evade. Now if you shoot first, then you finish, because he won't be able to kill you. Then he's the one that should evade. But I mean, if during these long fights like this, most people die a lot because they don't know when to back off. So they just keep trying to shoot the guy, even though he has a better shot. At that time he had a better shot. So just keep that in mind. If you see, like right here, you see I don't even have a 1 bullet on him and he's already hitting me. You don't want, at that point, you don't want to try to aim and try to shoot back. You just want to run away, recover, and then go again to where you were actually shooting first. Where at the very least, you know you gotta, for example, right now, even if he shoots me, I know I'll finish the kill before he can. So that's when you actually engage. But let's just say he shoots me and I'm actually missing. Like, you don't want to adjust. You know, you're missing, you don't want to adjust back, you just want to evade. Because at that point, he's already hitting you, and it's much more likely that he's going to win the gunfight if you remain exposed by like this. So unless you're absolutely sure, you shot first, or you got the aiming right, then you finish. And if you notice you start missing and he's already shooting you, just back out. Don't continue to engage, because that's gonna get you killed. I mean, just like in a, I don't know if you ever heard about the book who says that the battle was won before it's ever fought. This is pretty much the same thing. You want to put yourself in the advantage to win before the fight even begins, just by doing the bunch of things I just explained until now. When you're doing like this, for example, I already won this gunfight. It has not really started yet, but I have already won, because I can shoot before he can. So you should always have that in mind. You always want to have the first shot.
You cannot stop me.
The engagement that you can get the first shot, you're pretty much always going to win. So just remember that phrase from the book. The battles are won before they are ever fought. That's what you have in mind when you're engaging people. You always want to have the advantage. Don't play fair. So right now, I already won this battle before it hasn't even started yet. Okay, so now a really good point. I mean, keep going, Jake. Don't stop. If you see a guy running like this to a point where you have no angle on him or any side to shoot him, you don't really want to shoot him at all, because just remember that when you shoot someone, unless you're using a silencer, you're giving away your position. And I mean, even if you're using a silencer, you're giving your position to him when you shoot him. What I mean by this is you don't want to injure anyone. You always want to down him. Guarantee you want to down him. You don't want anybody injured, because that gives away your position. So for example, let's say he's running at this last bar here where he's going right now. I can't kill him because I need 3 bursts from this weapon to kill him. If he's already there, I know I cannot get 3 bursts out before he goes out of sight. So you don't want to shoot him there. I'm gonna show you what not to do. So he's going there, right? So I shoot him. You see, I can get 3 bursts before he goes out of sight. So if I do that, at that point, I gave my position to the whole team if I'm not using a silencer. And at the very least, I gave my position to him if I'm using a silencer. So now he knows I'm here. Whereas if I start, keep going, Jake. If I start here, you see, I have more time to finish him. This is what you want. If you can't guarantee like that, don't shoot at all. You don't want to injure him. You want to guarantee the kill. And if you know for sure, like I just example there, you cannot get the kill in time, don't shoot at all. Then what you want to do is just go behind him and follow him. Let's just say he's camping there now. Then you want to shoot, because at that point you cannot guarantee the kill. So I see this a lot as well. I mean, people they cannot guarantee the kill, but they shoot anyway, just because, I don't know, they want to shoot, and they injure the guy instead of downing him. So don't do that. Unless you can guarantee the down, don't shoot at all. Okay, so another point, I mean, goes pretty much with all the others of being marked, you know. You don't want to engage without your weapon fully reload, and you also don't want to engage while you are low on health. So let's just say I just engaged him right now and I killed him, and he took at least, just shoot me a bit, Jake. He took at least like 20% of my health. At this point, you don't want to do it like this. You don't want to run into the open and try to run into your next engagement, because you're not at full health. So if you just, you know, finished an engagement that maybe you won, then you want to wait it out, recover your health, and only after you're fully recovered you want to go out to your next engagement. I mean, people do this a lot. I mean, some guys I see, they're like 10% health and they're just running around people trying to kill them. You're never gonna win a gunfight like that. It's just you're making yourself a free kill to them. So just keep that in mind. You never want to engage when you're not at full health. So if you can, always recover full health before engaging the next guy. Both of you together. Okay, so guys, another point, I mean, The same thing for the blind fire fight. I mean, sometimes it can happen where you're actually trying to like win a blind fire fight against two people. The same things apply. I mean, for example, let's just say they're both like right now gonna rush straight forward at me. My best option I mean, if I could just roll back to both of them, that would be good. But that's harder with two people. So maybe the best option here would be to maybe roll to the side. But again, this is almost a luck kind of thing, because I mean there's two people against you, so I mean let's just try. Come both of you at me and try to actually blind fire me to death. I'll try to adapt. Okay, you see what I did that? I ran like through them, through both of them. You know, you kind of have to practice this. I mean, I can't really tell you a formula to this. You just gotta always like find a way to avoid them while still getting the advantage. So come on, try to kill me, both of you together. I'll try to adjust.
Do not get up.
So you see? Because I mean, if you can create distance during the blind fire, that's great. Because I mean, you're putting yourself at the advantage. Now, okay, so just one last point. I mean, I really can't really explain this. I mean, two people, even three people, you always want to try to like kind of dodge out of their blind firing angle at you. So right here, guys. So I mean, Jake, it can be only you. It doesn't really matter. Like right here, right here. Okay, so listen, I'm gonna jump down, and you're gonna jump down when I tell you, okay? I'm gonna be waiting for you at the ledge. Okay, guys, so just another point about ledge, these kinds of things right here. You always want to remember, I mean, because you can press the melee button, right, to kill someone instantly from ledges. But you always want to remember, the guy that's not moving is the guy that has the advantage in terms of pressing the button. So Jake, if you can come down now. So see, he's coming, right? You see the square button showed for me. I mean, I have a bigger advantage now than he does. I mean, actually, if we're moving, like let's just say like right now, we're on different sort of levels. If he wants to melee me, he has to either, you know, come above me, or he has to drop below. But if he drops below, I have the advantage, so just drop below, Jake. Like this, because the square button shows for me before it shows for him, because he's moving and I'm standing still. And you while you're like this, you can always be pressing the square button while you're standing like this. Whereas he has to drop down and then press the button. He has to actually, you know, kind of aim at you in a way. Whereas you are just there pressing already. So you're always gonna end up pressing first if you're the one that's not moving. If you're just like this. Now for ledges like this, the person who is on top, which in this case is him, he always has the priority. So if he comes running like this and melee me, like right there, he's always gonna win than me trying to pull him down, because his move is a lot faster than mine. So keep that in mind. You never wanna try to pull someone like this straight ahead. This is more like a stealth thing, where you pull him when he's not really seeing you. But what you can do, if you see that he's like he's rushing at you to try to melee, what you can do is drop down and then go back up. Because then he's gonna come here and he's gonna miss. He's gonna miss while you are... Just go away for a bit, Jake. Because the melee is automatic. So he's gonna like try to rush you and try to melee. So he's gonna do this. And he's gonna miss because you just dropped down. And then while he's missing, you're gonna go back up. So let's try it out, Jake. Let's see if we can get it to work. Come and try to melee me. So I see him coming. I drop down. Then I go back up. I'm definitely leaving that on in the video, man. Let's try again. So come rush me and try to melee. So he misses and then I come back up and melee him. Like that. So just keep in mind, you never want to wait in a situation like this because he has the advantage. If both of you do at the same time, he has the priority. But if you drop down, he's gonna miss, and then you come back up and pull him.
I destroy you.
Okay guys, so one last point about the rope. I mean, always remember the tap shoot, never forget that. Like that. Instead of... But one point about the rope, the lower you use the rope, you're kind of giving yourself more momentum. You see that I reach here? Because you can like throw the rope before you actually jump. You can also throw the rope and then jump before, you know, going out. So, but this is not really maximizing the distance you can cover. If you want to maximize the distance you can cover, you want to use the rope as low as on the lowest point as possible, like really near the ground. Like you see, that was really low. That's gonna extend your rope, giving you like more momentum, so you can reach further, like that. And you can always like rehook your rope. So just press the X button to go away, and then the L1 to rehook it again. So you can keep doing like this. And this also allows you to reach further, like so. Like see, I can get up here now, and you can like just infinitely keep adjusting. And also, just like I said, that if you drop down and you use the rope kind of later, you're extending the rope. I mean, the more the rope is extended, the further the range you can cover with your melee, like this square, like this. The further you can cover. For example, let's just say it's like right here, right? If I use the rope like this, I can't really reach that far. Whereas if I use it like almost on the way down, at the lowest point possible, I can actually hit him. Let me just see if I can get over here. And also, if you jump from higher places, you get the same effect because you're increasing the momentum you get from the rope swing if you jump from really high, like that. So if he was here now, I would be able to hit him. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, I could kind of tell you how to dodge it, the rope melee, but I mean, there's really no guarantee way, so I'm not even gonna go there. Cause I mean, there's like when he uses the rope melee, the physics just go out the window, you know. There's like no physics anymore. Yeah, but I mean, the best option you have is really to kind of shoot him in the air as he's falling onto you. I mean, because if you try to like run away from him, unless it's really far, because I mean the game just throw the physics out the window and adjust his towards you. I don't really know. There's no way to avoid it. It's just an automatic thing. But I mean, because if you go towards him, it's like the gravity just like triples and it's gonna get him to fall right on top of you. And if you go further away, it's like gravity doesn't exist anymore and he's gonna fly towards you. So it's almost impossible to avoid. So if you roll to the side, it will also track you. So there's like almost impossible to escape. Best option is really just to shoot him in the air as he's falling on top of you. And hopefully you can kill him before he kills you. I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, thanks for watching. I'm just gonna say, I mean, going back to the blind fire, just a last quick point. Like I said about the on the first guide of aiming and accuracy about the camera sensitivity, that goes a long way on the blind fire. So I mean, just watch all the guides and make sure you watch the gameplay so you can see what I just told you. I mean, me doing it in practice. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching.